So in your lab you noticed that when we had the temperature probe dry in front of the fan, the temperature really didn't drop all that much. I think it was 0.3 or 4 degrees Fahrenheit, which you're not going to notice. And that was just because it was pulling in some colder air in the room. The temperature actually does not lower from the fan. When we dipped it in water, however, we now had water on the end of our probe. And what the fan did was it sped up the evaporation of that water. The atoms of water, the molecules of water are sitting on the end of that probe. And the fan is taking those atoms and blowing them away off into the empty air. So this evaporation process, you see what it did to the temperature, it actually cooled the temperature. And that's an important law for this module for you to know. Evaporation cools. Evaporation is a cooling process. That's why we feel cooler when we do this with the fan. There's always sweat on our skin. We're evaporating that sweat, makes us feel cooler. It's why a dog pants. It's forcing air over its tongue. That's cooling its tongue and in turn cooling its body. This evaporation cooling effect is a very powerful law when it comes to weather. And we can use it to our advantage. We could take a wet cloth and put it in front of this fan, and that fan will cause a little bit of evaporation and cause a cool air to blow through. Or we could use something that evaporates faster. Now in real life we're never going to use this. This is rubbing alcohol. But if I go ahead and dip the probe in here, this is going to evaporate much faster. That means it's going to get much cooler, much quicker. See how quickly the temperature drops? So it's going to get cooler quicker, but it's then also going to evaporate quicker. And once the rubbing alcohol evaporates off that stick, the evaporation cooling process has ended and the temperature comes back up. It's starting to do that right now. Now, I don't recommend that you take rubbing alcohol and smear it on your skin. It's going to dry you out. But it's the same process. Evaporation is a cooling process. Which brings us to our dumb and useless fact. The highest temperature a human has experienced and survived was 260 degrees in a sauna. The Finnish sauna had a very low humidity and the person tolerated 45 minutes. Rapidly evaporating perspiration formed a protective layer of cool air around the individual's body. That's how powerful evaporation is. Now, they used to have the sauna Olympics in Finland, and one year during the gold medal match, the two people in the Finnish sauna refused to get out and both succumbed to the hot air that was inside. So I don't recommend you try that either. So that's how powerful evaporation can be, and we're going to explore that a little bit more in this module.